there is a person who is dreaming about betterment. And sitting at her place, she is visualizing how things would be after betterment. And she says that the visualization energizes her and fantasizing about the end point makes her happy. This is the situation. Let's go into it. Right? Find it interesting? Yeah? I think of betterment because I take myself as deficient. Right?
Yes, right.
If I don't take myself as incomplete or deficient, I cannot think of betterment. In contentment, it is absurd to think of further improvement. We are talking of the I sense that takes itself as lacking in something. Because it takes itself as lacking in something, so it thinks of betterment. What we miss here often is that the thought and the thinker will always share the same quality. The action and the actor will always share the same quality. The imagination and the one imagining will always be of the same quality. Getting it? Now, if I say that I am imagining precisely because I do not like the way I am, I want to change because I do not feel all right with the way I am, then who am I in my own estimation? Somebody, please, somebody deficient, somebody incomplete. And if I am incomplete, then sitting where I am, what would be the quality of my action, thought, and imagination? They too would be of incomplete nature. So, incompleteness is projecting more incompleteness for itself and then trying with all its might to reach more incompleteness. How will that help? Please get this. Let's take the extreme and crass example of a drunkard. It's an extreme example, I understand. So just stay with it. If one is drunk and one is thinking of improvement in his drunken state, and when you are drunk, you think of a lot of things that you usually don't think of. If one is drunk and one is thinking of improvement, and one is thinking of improvement precisely because one is drunk, then what would be the quality of that dream or vision? I have already declared myself as lacking or poor or deficient. And if I am lacking or poor or deficient, how will I dream of a total and complete and whole future? My vision too would just be a polished version of who I already am. And I am, in my own estimation, not good enough. My dreams would only be a refined version of my current state. They will not be able to take me beyond myself. And that is why dreamers keep failing. That is why the progress that dreams give us are only cosmetic. Yes, something changes, but only on the surface. Real change never comes. When you make a goal for yourself, pay attention to the state of the goal setter as well. If you are afraid, what would be the quality of your goal? Please. The goal would contain a lot of fear. And you set a lot of goals when you are afraid. In fact, the more afraid you are, the more you would want to reach to the next goal, because you will not be comfortable with your current state, so you would want to quickly shift to the other state of the goal. You would say, I don't like this state, I'm afraid, so that's my goal. But because you are setting that goal in your current state, that goal would have all the elements of fear but hidden. And because they would be hidden, so you would be tricked into thinking that your dream or imagination will take you away from fear. That can't happen. That can't happen. Which means, very interestingly, that goal setting or dreaming or visualizing defeats its own purpose. The moment you visualize, you have certified that you are not worthy of visualizing. Because you visualize only when you are not all right with yourself. And if you are not all right with yourself, then this is not the right time to visualize. Are you getting it? Dreaming defeats the dreamer. Dreaming defeats the very purpose of dreaming. One therefore has to simply open her eyes to the fact of today, the fact of living, the fact of how one is operating through the 24-hour cycle. That probably may help really.
For example, if the person was to visualize from a place of wholeness, in that end goal that's been visualized, if there was maybe like a disidentification with what that is, and it just be what it is.
Wonderful. Yeah. From a place of wholeness, one doesn't visualize. From a place of wholeness, one creates without purpose. And there can be no purposeful creativity. If you are whole, then too you act, then too you think. But that thinking is not about making up for your perceived deficiencies. Then you just act, then you just think, then you do not act for a reason, then you do not think with a target. This just acting, that is the elixir of life. To act without knowing what the action would lead to, and having the courage and the boldness and the faith to act without knowing what the action would result into, to live without knowing what the future would bring, to create without knowing whether the creation would fetch any material returns or not, to dance without bothering whether somebody is applauding or not. That is creativity.
When we are talking about creativity, right? So, and about being a dreamer, right? So, a dreamer dreams a lot, right? He's creating visions for himself. Uh, Probably being from a creative side, what I feel is like if I don't have that material base of my visions, when it comes to creating something, I won't be able to create, right? Because these imaginations are the support, these are the bricks that are supporting that creation, right? Somewhere down the line, though I may be dreaming, right? So, coming from the dance thing, so suppose I'll tell you, I was traveling to Mumbai for some office trip I met a model, had a conversation. Last year, I had met another model. Both have different uh, mm, natures. From that, I took those pieces, uh, created a story which is on dance. Probably, I won't be able to make and direct it right now, but at least I have a story. I have visualization which from which something has been created.
You see, creativity is love. It doesn't bother for what practical resources you have. What you are saying is you give the first position to what you have and then creativity is built on that. Not really. If creativity is real, it would spring into the unknown and then would find whether resources are available. If resources are there, then obviously you are using them only for predetermined purposes. Then how is there creativity? Please understand this. Secondly, creativity is not a side. That which is normally called as creativity in commerce or arts or advertising or theater or whatever is hardly creative. Creativity is not a field. Every field is going to be limited. Creativity is a moment to moment way of living. You cannot call certain professions as creative professions and certain professions as commercial or uncreative or mechanical or whatever. Either your very breath is creative or you are not. There is nothing called a creative field.
So another thing that probably I would like to share, but just because the video is on, I was not, and I was sharing with this gentleman. I found him very positive and energized. So it's a very interesting story that how I am right now in Rishikesh. So nothing. I was driving for office. Something like things were not working fine, both at family and and at office end. It just snapped into, and I just uh, parked my car at the airport, took a bus, metro, then a bus, Dehradun, and now I'm sitting in Rishikesh. And man, I have to even it's been around more than 24 hours. I've not informed my family, and I'm uh, into this question that how now.
So you know what creativity is, right? And this act is not going to be certified or validated as a great creative act by anybody outside of you. But you know very well now what is creativity. It's not coming up with a masterpiece. It's not about coming up with something that is demonstrable. It's about living in a certain way, which is not quite a way.
Well, I tend to do things that which are not appreciable by others, and this is causing
Trouble.
trouble. Yes, but
You decide what do you love more, huh? Creativity or troublelessness. One has to take the call.
Would you say that is spontaneous action?
Yes, it is spontaneous. But then if I switch on this bulb, this too is spontaneous in its reaction. It takes no time for the bulb to start emitting light. That's a different quality of spontaneity. That's a spontaneity in which there could possibly have been a lag. But now there is not. Here it has no option to not to react when it's asked to. Are you getting it? Similarly, a short-tempered man has no option to not to react when abused. That too is spontaneous. You abuse me, I abuse back. That too is spontaneous. Spontaneity is when you could not have been probably and possibly spontaneous. Your fears could have arrested you. You could have sought time to think over, mull over, and come up with a safe and secure response. But then there was something more attractive, more lovable than safety and security. So you decided to not to take any time and rush towards that lovable thing. That is creativity. Life is either creative or it's the life, of this audio system, of this camera, of this bulb, programmed. If there is not creativity, then there is a programmed life. Then everything is programmed. Love is programmed. Vacations are programmed. God is programmed. Meditation is programmed.
But we are, aren't we? I mean,
Yes,
it
yes.
is.
Unfortunately, most of us are programmed. The redeeming part is something in us does not like our state. So even though we might be living programmed lives, yet we want to be somewhere else. We don't like where we are. Nobody likes where he is. That's wonderful. Dangerous are those who have settled comfortably into their programs. Very dangerous are those who have now come to an agreement and have made a deal with their programming.
So, do you think that there is, though we sometimes take spontaneous decisions, but I somehow feel that they are also somehow guided somewhere. So, while I was driving, so I have to take a U turn to my office. Now, that day, yesterday, there's been a new route which has been channelized. So, they're like, this is for the U turn, this is for if you have to go straight, and because it is for the first time, so I get confused and I take this one, and then I am having second thoughts. Should I take a U-turn, or whatever thought is coming into my mind, I take it, and I I didn't take that deliberately. So I just couldn't manage in traffic. I went into that lane, and I'm driving straight. And then I said like, I go for it. So supposedly, like it's not spontaneous. That is what somehow guided.
You see, there is nobody who gets no taste of the beyond in his daily life. The tragic part is we get a taste of that and yet do not feel sure enough to plunge into that. In fact, life would have been without any suffering had we had no taste of freedom or love. The great tragedy is somewhere we know what truth is, what freedom is, and what it means to live lightly. Because we know that, therefore, we suffer all the more. Because now we also know what we are missing out on. Had you had no experience, no intimacy with the beyond, then you would have been as trouble free as a machine. No machine ever weeps. But you know what is your great possibility, and therefore you weep because you deny that great possibility to yourself. To a machine, there is no great possibility, so it doesn't weep. to you that possibility very much exists, and man lives so that that possibility can be achieved, can be materialized. And if in your lifetime you do not materialize that possibility, if you do not live to your fullest, then you have wasted your life.